So dear students, today we are going to see the details of knee joint. Knee joint, it's a compound synovial joint. Compound synovial joint means there we can see the condylar variety of synovial joint and the saddle variety of synovial joint. Condylar variety of synovial joint, see this joint. See, this is what the femur, lower end of the femur, see, two condyles. Now tibia, there also we can see the condyles. So between the femur and the tibia, there we are having the condylar joint. Now, here the anterior aspect of the femur joins with the patella. So, between the femur and patella, there we can see the saddle joint. Patella is a sesamoid bones in here, known as the kneecap. Okay, so between the femur and tibia, it's condylar joint. So, condylar joint between the condyles of the femur and tibia. And saddle joint between the femur and patella. So, because of these two joints, this knee joint, it is known as what? Compound synovial joint or compound joint. Now articular surfaces. What are the articular surfaces? I already told you. See, here we can see the condyles of the femur articulate with the condyles of the tibia. Not only that, patella. So condyles of the femur, then patella, condyles of the tibia. Those are the bones articulate there. So those are the articular surfaces of those bones. Now supporting factors or ligaments. Okay, here we are having the fibrous capsule, then ligamentum patella, then tibial collateral ligament, then fibular collateral ligament, then oblique popliteal ligament, then arcuate ligament, then anterior cruciate ligament, posterior cruciate ligament, medial meniscus, lateral meniscus, and the transverse ligament. We have to go through the details of these points. First one is the fibrous capsule. The fibrous capsule, see, this is what the fibrous capsule means. Its upper end is connected to this femur and lower end which is connected to the tibia. Okay, see this one, this structure. This is the upper end. This is the lower end. Okay, so anyway, this sac-like structure which encloses the joint or which cover the joint. That is what the capsule. So fibrous capsule which encloses the joint. Okay, is femoral attachment or attachment on the femur. It is attached to the half to 1 centimeter beyond the articular margin. What is meant by that? We'll see that. See, this is the articular margin. This one is this is the lower end of the femur, and see, this is the articular margin. Okay, this is the articular. This white colored area. This is the articular surface, and here we can see the articular margin of that articular surface. And here, this dotted lines represents the attachment of capsule, fibrous capsule. So it is almost half centimeter or maximum 1 centimeter away from this articular margin. Correct now? So that is meant by that. Half to 1 centimeter beyond the articular margin. So femoral attachment, it is attached to the lower end of the femur, half to 1 centimeter away from this articular margin. Then that attachment, it is having some peculiarities. Anteriorly it is deficient, or anteriorly, see this, anteriorly capsule, there we can see this patella, under ligamentum patella. So anteriorly it is deficient. Posteriorly it is attached to this intercondylar line. So what is meant by that? See, lateral side, this is the attachment. Okay, if you are moving the posterior aspect, say it is attached to this intercondylar line. Okay, see this area. Then laterally, it encloses the origin of the popliteus. So here comes the origin of the popliteus. Okay, so anyway, those are some of the features of this fibrous capsule. Okay, so fibrous capsule, its upper end is connected to the femur. What all parts of the femur it is attached to? Half to 1 centimeter beyond the articular margin. That point is clear. Now that attachment is having some features. Anteriorly it is not there. Posteriorly it is attached to intercondylar line, and laterally it encloses the popliteus. Now lower attachment, lower end or tibial attachment. Okay, lower attachment of the fibrous capsule. Okay, see it once again. See, upper end is connected to the femur. That attachment is clear. Now lower attachment to the tibia. Okay, now we are going to see the tibial attachment. Here also half to 1 centimeter beyond the articular margin. See, here the articular margin is not less than clear, even though now the tip of the cursor is on this articular margin of the articular surface, and little bit away, half centimeter away from the articular margin. Okay, so here in the tibia, this is the area of attachment. Okay, so it is attached to half to 1 centimeter away from the or beyond the articular margin. Here also, anteriorly it descends along the margin of the condyle to the tibial tuberosity. Means how? See, here some modification. You have to make some modifications. See, here anteriorly it runs downward like this and extends up to this tibial tuberosity. See, anteriorly it runs downward and reaches the tibial tuberosity. Tibial tuberosity means, see, this roughened area. This is what the tibial tuberosity. So anteriorly it runs, this attachment moves downward. Posteriorly it is attached on intercondylar ridge that we know, and posterolaterally there will be a gap for the popliteus muscle. See here, now we can see the popliteus muscle is coming out from the fibrous capsule or from the joint cavity. Okay, so there is a gap for this popliteus muscle, and here posteriorly it is attached to this ridge intercondylar line. So posteriorly it is attached to intercondylar ridge, and posterolaterally there will be a gap for the popliteus muscle. Clear now? Anteriorly it runs downward and reaches the tibial tuberosity. See, almost like this. And posteriorly, this is what the intercondylar ridge here, and this is the lateral side. So posterolaterally, there it is having an opening for the popliteus muscle. Means this popliteus muscle which is seen inside this joint. Okay, and it pierces the fibrous capsule and it comes out. Okay, this is what the popliteus muscle. So fibrous capsule is clear. Okay. Now the second point, ligamentum patella. Ligamentum patella is connected to see, this is what the ligamentum patella. This is the patella and this is a tibial tuberosity. So these 2 points are connected by a ligament known as the ligamentum patella. Okay. So upper end. See, now see the ligament, it is having an upper end and one lower end. Upper end is connected to the apex of the patella, lower end is connected to the tibial tuberosity. Okay. So apex of the patella, lower end to the tibial tuberosity. Now, tibial collateral ligament. Okay, it is attached to the medial epicondyle of femur, and inferiorly it divides into 2 bands, anterior band and posterior band. Anterior band is connected to medial border and posterior part of the medial surface of shaft of the tibia. Posterior part is attached to medial condyle of the tibia above the groove for semimembranosus. We'll see the details. So tibial collateral ligament. See, this one is a tibial collateral ligament. Okay, see, it is attaching to the tibia. See, this is the medial side of the thigh and the medial side of the leg. Means this is the medial side, and here comes the lateral side of the lower limb. Okay, so here medial side there we are having the medial ligament or medial tibial collateral ligament. Upper end is connected to this medial epicondyle. Medial epicondyle. Medial, what is the medial epicondyle? See, here in the lower part of or lower end of the femur, here we are having a projection. That projection, it is known as medial epicondyle. Like that, the most concave convex part or this projection, which is seen on the lateral part of the lower end. This is a lateral epicondyle. So here in the medial side, this projection, this is a medial epicondyle, and the lateral side, lateral epicondyle. So here, upper end of this ligament is connected to this medial epicondyle. Now, if you are moving downward, say here, lower end is connected to lower end, it divides into 2 bands or two thin bands, one anterior and one posterior. Now here we can see the anterior band. Okay, so upper end is attached to this medial epicondyle, then it divides into 2 bands, anterior and posterior. Here in this diagram, this is the anterior band. It is attached to the medial surface of the tibia and this medial border of the tibia. Okay, so medial surface and medial border of the tibia. Now we'll see. Anterior band, this lower end of the anterior band is connected to medial border and medial surface of shaft of the tibia. Medial border and medial surface of the tibia. Clear? See, this is the medial surface. See, this is the anterior surface. Anterior border, Then medial border, lateral border. I already told you. So between the anterior border and the medial border, this is the medial surface, upper part of the medial surface. Not related to this medial surface, that some fibers are inserted into this medial border also. So upper end is connected to medial epicondyle, lower end is connected to this medial surface and the medial border. Now posterior band. See in this image, see we can see the posterior band. Okay, posterior band is connected to this medial condyle of the tibia. See like this, it will be short. It's a short band. Okay, so extending from this medial epicondyle of the femur to this medial condyle of the tibia. So posterior band is attached to medial condyle. That's enough. Medial condyle of the tibia. Okay, so tibial collateral ligament. Upper end is connected to medial epicondyle of the femur. Lower end divides into two bands, anterior band and posterior band. Anterior band which is attached to medial border and medial surface of the tibia. Posterior band is attached to medial condyle of the tibia. Now, like that, we are having one more ligament, fibular collateral ligament or lateral ligament. See here in the same diagram, there we can see the fibular collateral ligament. So upper end, which is connected to lateral epicondyle. Here, in the case of medial or tibial collateral ligament, it is the medial epicondyle. So here, in the case of fibular collateral ligament, lateral epicondyle. So upper end is connected to this lateral epicondyle. This is the lateral side of the femur. So no doubt, this is a lateral condyle of the femur. So lateral epicondyle. So lateral epicondyle, lower end is connected to head of the fibula. This one is the head of the fibula. So this ligament, this is what the fibular collateral ligament. Okay, so superiorly it is attached to lateral epicondyle of the femur. Inferiorly it is attached to the head of the fibula. That's enough. Now oblique popliteal ligament. It is an expansion from the tendon of semimembranosus. Okay. See, this is a posterior view of the knee joint. Now here we can say the tendon of the semimembranosus. Okay, from this semimembranosus, see some fibers of the semimembranosus runs obliquely forward and laterally. Okay, see this is what the oblique popliteal ligament. So it is a tendon of the semimembranosus. It is attached to the intercondylar line and the lateral condyle of the femur. Okay, where see it is the extension of the semimembranosus. That point is clear. This is the tendon of the semimembranosus. Some fibers of the semimembranosus, this yellow colored structure, actually it's a part of this semimembranosus. So this semimembranous, some fibers of the semimembranosus runs upward and laterally. And most of the fibers inserted here between the intercondylar area, intercondylar line, and some fibers are just a lateral condyle. Okay, so insertion is clear or attachment is clear. One end is attached to it is attached to the tendon of the semimembranosus. The other end, which is attached to intercondylar line and lateral condyle of the femur. Clear? Here in this image, see this one. This is the oblique popliteal ligament. See, this is the semimembranosus. So some fibers of the semimembranosus will run upward and laterally. Most of the fibers will insert into this intercondylar line, and some fibers will reach the lateral condyle of the femur. Okay, so this is what the oblique popliteal ligament. Now arcuate popliteal ligament. Arch shape, that's why it's known as arcuate popliteal ligament. It runs backwards from the head of the fibula and arches over the tendon of the popliteus, and it is attached to the posterior border of intercondylar area of tibia. We'll see that. See, this is the head of the fibula. See, here we can see one arch-shaped ligament. Okay, so it runs upward and backward. Okay, see, from one end is attached to this fibula, head of the fibula, then it runs medially, backward and medially, and reaches the intercondylar line of the or posterior part of the intercondylar area of the tibia. Okay, so that is what the arcuate popliteal ligament. Now Cruciate ligaments. We are having two ligaments, anterior cruciate ligament and a posterior cruciate ligament. So ultimately it looks like a cross. Okay, so cruciate ligament. See here, we can say the anterior cruciate ligament. Then this one is a posterior cruciate ligament. Anterior cruciate ligament, lower and is attached to intercondylar area of the tibia. Anterior part. See, this is the lateral condyle of the tibia. This is the medial condyle of the tibia. So between these two condyles, there will be intercondylar area. So this anterior cruciate ligament is connected to anterior part of the intercondylar area. Posterior cruciate ligament, lower end of the posterior cruciate ligament is attached to posterior part of the intercondylar area. Okay. Anyway, this is what the anterior cruciate ligament. So lower end is attached to anterior part of the intercondylar area. From there it runs upward, backward and laterally, and it is inserted to medial surface of the lateral condyle of femur. See, this is the lateral condyle of the femur. So it is attached to inner surface or medial surface of the lateral condyle. But this posterior condyle, posterior cruciate ligament arises from posterior part of this intercondylar area. From there it runs upward and medially, and upper end is attached to this medial condyle of the femur. Okay, this is a lateral condyle of the femur. So this one is a medial condyle of the femur. So it is attached to this lateral surface of the medial condyle, or it is attached to medial condyle. So keep it in mind. Anterior cruciate ligament, lower end is attached to anterior part of the intercondylar area. Upper end is attached to lateral condyle of the femur. Posterior cruciate ligament, lower end is attached to posterior part of the intercondylar area, upper end to the medial condyle. See, like this fingers. Okay, see, this middle finger represents the anterior cruciate ligament, and the index finger represents the posterior cruciate ligament. Say this one. This is the right side hand. So that represents the right side cruciate ligaments. So that's all about the cruciate ligament. Begins from the anterior cruciate ligament, begins from the anterior part of the intercondylar area, then upper end it is attached to posterior or medial surface of lateral condyle. Okay, then posterior cruciate ligament, posterior part of the intercondylar area of the tibia to the medial condyle of the femur. Now meniscus, we are going to see the meniscus. We are having two meniscus. Okay, one lateral meniscus and one medial meniscus. See, this cartilage piece seen between these two bones, femur and tibia. See, these two pieces of cartilages are known as menisci. Okay, this is a lateral meniscus and this one is a medial meniscus. Here in this image, the lateral meniscus and medial meniscus. So meniscus are two pieces of cartilages. So it is having two ends, two borders and two surfaces. Okay, we have to check it. See, this is a lateral medial meniscus. So it is having two ends, one anterior end, one posterior end, and two borders, inner or medial, outer or lateral. And two surfaces, one superior surface and one inferior surface, which are articulated with this tibia. Superior surface which are articulated with the femur, inferior surface which are articulated with the tibia. So two ends, two borders and two surfaces. Okay, medial meniscus which is nearly semicircular, correct now? Almost semicircular, but the lateral meniscus which is circular. Okay, almost a circular. Medial meniscus which is semicircular. So these are the some of the points, some of the features of this meniscus. Meniscus are two pieces of cartilages. Okay, having two ends, two borders, and two surfaces. Then medial meniscus which is nearly semicircular, and lateral meniscus which is nearly circular. Now transverse ligament. Okay, this anterior ends of this two menisci are connected by one ligament. This is what the transverse ligament. Okay, so transverse ligament. Here in this image, we can see the transverse ligament, then anterior cruciate ligament, then comes the posterior cruciate ligament. Okay, anyway, these are some of the supporting factors. Okay, now bursa around the knee joint. So what are the bursa seen around the knee joint? So it's subcutaneous prepatellar bursa in front of the patella. See here, this is the patella. patella bone. This is the lateral view of the knee joint. Femur, tibia. Okay, so here some fluid filled sacs are there. Those are the bursa. Okay, so in front of the patella, this is what the pre-patellar bursa. Then subcutaneous infrapatellar bursa. Infra means below the patella. So pre-patellar, then infrapatellar bursa. Then deep infrapatellar bursa. See here, this one, deep one. This one, deep infrapatellar. That also seen below the patella. So infrapatellar. And there we can see below the patella. There we are having two. Okay, so one will be the superficial, the other one will be deep. So this is a deep infrapatellar bursa. Then suprapatellar bursa. See this one. This is a suprapatellar bursa. So these are some of the important bursa related to this knee joint, which gives a cushion effect to this joint. Then movements: flexion, extension, medial rotation, and lateral rotation. Okay, what are the muscles producing this movement? See, flexion is by biceps femoris, semitendinosus, semimembranosus. Then extension by the quadriceps femoris. Then medial rotation, popliteus, semimembranosus, semitendinosus. Lateral rotation by the biceps femoris. In our next class, we are going to see the details of these muscles. Okay, so these are the muscles and movements and muscles producing movements. Now, locking and unlocking mechanism of the knee joint. In order to study this joint, okay, we are having the locking and unlocking mechanism. See, what is meant by locking mechanism? See, it occurs as a result of medial rotation of the femur during the last stage of the extension. Okay, and unlocking means it is a lateral rotation of the femur during the beginning stage of the flexion. See here, this diagram. See, this is what the fully extended knee joint. Fully extended knee joint. So, towards the last stage of the extension, this femur will rotate medially to lock the joint. See, this is what the fully. So after this femur will rotate medially. This femur will rotate medially to lock the joint. Like that, it will rotate laterally when the extension begins to unlock the joint. Okay, so that is what the locking and unlocking of the knee joint. Okay, that unlocking is by population cell. The remaining details we will discuss in our classroom. Now, blood supply. It is supplied by five genicular branches of the population artery. That's the main blood supply. Then nerve supply is supplied by femoral nerve, then sciatic nerve, then obturator nerve. And clinical anatomy. See here, the medial meniscus. Okay, medial meniscus is more vulnerable to the injury than the lateral meniscus. Okay, then osteoarthritis. That you know. Okay, this knee joint is also affected by the osteoarthritis. Okay, so these are some of the important points of this knee joint.